Some are concerned you all may be a little too confident. And why not go out and attack Donald Trump, go after his legal challenges? What are you guys waiting for?
Well, let me just tell you something. I am of the school that you either run without an opponent or you run scared. I have learned that to be a fact, and that is the way that I feel about any election.
And what are you going to do to stop the crazies?
I am scared as heck.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm traveling our country. You know, there's an old saying that there are only two ways to run for office, either without an opponent or scared. So on all of those points, yes, we should all be scared. A person running to become the commander-in-chief who is admitting he would weaponize the Department of Justice. These issues in terms of how we are doing on a daily basis and how our democracy and our country is doing are inextricably linked.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about cackling Kamala Harris, who went on The View to express how terrified she is of the possibility of Trump getting back in the White House. She goes on to accuse the Trump administration, or the future Trump administration, of wanting to do what the Biden administration is already doing, which is weaponizing the Justice Department to go after their political opponents. Again, Democrats, once again, doing what they do best, which is to project what they're doing onto other people. Okay, so with that being said, we got to talk about a segment of The View in which Kamala Harris was confronted on the border crisis. Now, this is important because Kamala Harris allegedly is supposed to be the border czar, even though she's completely stopped talking about the border. She doesn't go to the border. She's never asked about the border. She basically is giving up, right? She said, look, I don't want anything to do with the border. But Alyssa Farah Griffin here does at least the bare minimum in regards to what you would expect a conservative to do, or an alleged conservative to do on a show like The View, which again is to ask a Democrat about the border, to confront them on it. And again, Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be the border czar, should have a coherent answer in regards to the border crisis and what's going on and what is the plan to fix it. Except there is no coherent answer because Kamala Harris talks in word salad, okay? She just doesn't really know how to say anything directly for whatever reason. Again, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Kamala. I think she's high, low key. Okay, that's really what I believe, right? You remember how she told us she was, smoking weed while listening to Tupac in college? Yeah, I think she's probably still doing that. That or she's drinking the bong water. Who knows? Okay, but anyways, with that being said, we got to go ahead and get into this, and I want to react to Kamala's answer in regards to the border. But before I react to this, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. If you're trying to navigate market turbulence, why not set a course to the Noble Gold investment safe haven? With global uncertainty looming, your savings and retirement plan are under siege. But there's one asset that has stood the test of time, and that is gold. Unlock the peace of mind that comes with owning gold, the ultimate safe haven. And if precious metals are new to you, Noble Gold will hold your hand throughout the whole process. They have a team of experts that will guide you through every step on your way to safety. Thousands of investors have sheltered their retirement savings with Noble Gold investments. Don't leave yourself exposed to the markets right now. It's just way too risky. With gold near an all-time high and looking to climb even higher, it's the perfect time. Open a Noble Gold Investments IRA and secure your future with a free silver virtue coin. Act now before it's too late. Call 877-646-5347 and claim your free coin before it's gone. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com now. That is noblegoldinvestments.com, the only gold company that I trust. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Mr. President, on that, I have to ask about border security. So 2023 was the biggest year for illegal border crossings. With resources stretched, fentanyl pouring into the country, cities pushed to the brink. Do you think this is a crisis, and what is being done to address the root causes of our immigration problem?
I think the segue couldn't be more perfect because, listen, first of all, everyone knows our immigration system is broken.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, but the border is also broken, right? Again, so you got to understand here, before she gets into her word salad. first and foremost, she doesn't answer the question of whether or not there's actually a crisis at the border. She's not going to answer the question. And then she's not going to actually articulate any details in regards to the solution that Democrats want. And there's a reason for that. And I'm explaining that to you guys after we finish getting through this segment.
The first bill that we dropped, the first bill that we offered right after inauguration was to fix the immigration system.
AKA amnesty, right? The bill that they dropped, and they've also tried to reintroduce it, was literally to allow the illegals to apply for green cards if they were in the country before a certain date, right? That's literally what the bill was, okay? That's not fixing the system, right? That doesn't fix the system. That just makes the problem worse. And this is what I try to tell you guys when it comes to voting for Democrats. One of the main reasons not to vote for them, if there's any reason not to vote for them, right, is because they will quite literally ensure that there continues to be an invasion at the border because, one, they're not going to fix it in regards to securing the border. And then, two, they're going to enact policies, or they want to enact policies that are going to incentivize more illegal immigrants to come to this country. One of the things they're going to do is that they're going to do amnesty. They're going to allow people to stay instead of doing a mass deportation program, which is what we actually really should be doing, right? That's what the plan is.
A comprehensive plan to deal with the immigration system. Do you think they've taken it up? No. We want solutions. The solutions are at hand. But frankly, we're in an election year, and the folks who want to return Donald Trump to the White House would prefer to talk about a broken immigration system instead of focusing on the solutions that are at hand and engaging in bipartisan work. Let's remember the days of George Bush, John McCain, even Lindsey Graham, who agreed that let's fix this. Let's work together on the solutions to fix this.
Yeah, but
Fix what, though? Right? Notice how, again, she's not talking about the actual border, okay? Because their bill has nothing to do with the border. Their bill has everything to do with, again, allowing illegals to stay here permanently, okay? But Republicans do not have to compromise. They do not have to do anything bipartisan with Democrats because the American people are on board with closing the border, with more border security. And I'm going to get more into those numbers here in a little bit, but let's move on here.
And are you
fix
working?
it, then it makes the Biden administration look good, and they don't want that.
But what are you doing to work with Republicans to try to solve this issue once and for all?
We offered a bill. We have offered that there would be, in the Senate, we have offered that there will be a bipartisan work to fix it. It literally was the first bill we passed. And I think it's critically important that we understand that there are petty politics at play on this issue as much as anything. We need solutions. The solutions are at hand. We have to work on them together. We have offered, for example, that in our security package coming up, $14 billion that we would like them to approve,
Which Senate Republicans support.
To address this issue. And Senate Republicans support it. So, hey, let's all participate in solutions if we want to call ourselves leaders.
Yeah, so again, the fallacy here is that Kamala and Democrats think that Republicans actually have to negotiate, right? They don't have to negotiate from a political perspective because Republicans already have a border solution, H.R. 2, which I wish they would advertise more, right? I really wish that they would advertise their bill more, okay? That's the thing about Republicans that really bothers me. They suck at marketing their own solutions, right? So I have to educate people, right, on things that they should be educating people on, okay? So in H.R. 2, the Republican border bill, aka the Secure the Border Act, okay, which Republicans, if they were smart, should be screaming at the top of their lungs, pass the Secure the Border Act, okay? This is what they should be doing. The same way Democrats scream and cry about the so-called Voting Rights Act or the George Floyd policing bill, Democrats do such a better job of marketing their solutions than Republicans, okay? Republicans never market their solutions. I don't know why, right? But the Secure the Border Act from Republicans does a few things that basically makes it so we really don't need $14 billion, more money to be sent for security, as Kamala says, but really it is for helping processing more claims, right? That's what Democrats want to spend money on. They want to spend money on helping the illegals come in here faster, not preventing and disincentivizing them from coming. Like, for example, in the Secure the Border Act, it generally bars migrants who are seeking asylum in the U.S. at the border from actually making the claim if they pass through another country en route to the United States. Okay, so we know that these countries are passing through, a ton of other countries, Central America in order to get here, right? If you're making that trek from, Venezuela all the way up to the United States through Mexico, you can't make the claim, right? If you really want to make the claim, you got to do so in your own country, right? If you're trying to come to the border illegally, it ain't gonna happen, which again, that would encourage the asylum seekers to stay in another country, right? Do not come to the border, to stay in another country while their claim is being processed. Again, that will greatly reduce the amount of claims. Second, it grants the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary sweeping authority to suspend entry to migrants to maintain operational control of the border, a standard that would prevent all illegal entries, okay? Also, third, it mandates construction of at least 900 miles of border wall. Basically, they need to finish the border, right? Finish the border. And it will also end new Biden parole programs that have allowed hundreds of thousands of illegals to enter legally, including Ukrainians and Afghans. It also would detain parents who are charged with illegal entry and make it easier to quickly return their unoccupied children to their home countries. So yeah, these are the core policies of the Republican immigration bill that they are not marketing hard enough, right? Which again, that's why I think that the Republican Party as a whole is incompetent, because they'll have a solution, it'll be sitting there, and they're not talking about it. You need to be marketing it, letting people know, if you vote for us, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so when it comes to that so-called $14 billion, we don't need to spend $14 billion. We need policy changes, first and foremost. And then on top of that, if we do need more personnel at the border, why would we use our military, right? We should use our military, okay? And we should do that instead, okay? These politicians always want to try to find more ways to spend more taxpayer dollars instead of using the resources that we have and being more efficient, okay? But again, a lot of the problems at the border it's not a money problem. It's really a policy problem, okay? The policies of the Biden administration. We need stronger policies that disincentivize people from coming here. We don't need to be processing a bunch of illegals and letting them into the country. No, we need to be shipping them out, right? That's what we need to be doing, and not allowing them to get into the country in the first place, right? Because a lot of them aren't really seeking asylum. They're just here for better economic opportunity, and that is what the American people believe. And the polls and how bad the Democrats are doing in regards to the polls when it comes to illegal immigration is part of the reason why Republicans don't have to compromise. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Interesting. Let's talk about immigration and what people are thinking when it comes to what's happening at the southern border.
Right. Well, first of all, there's been an increase in the number who say that what's happening there is a crisis. All right. So that's number one. And there's a majority who say it's either a crisis or a big problem. So people are taking notice. You unpack that a little bit, though, and you say, like, what should be done? What should be done is strongly tied to what people think is the reason that this is happening. And let me show you this. When you ask Democrats, why are migrants trying to cross the border, their top answers, there's a lot of them, but their top answers are that the migrants are fleeing bad economic conditions in their country or increased danger in their own country, right? Now, you ask Republicans why it's happening, and they point to rule changes by the Biden administration and not enough security at the border. When you look at differences in why people think migrants are trying to cross, then that goes to policy solutions. So the Republicans say more border security. The Democrats say faster processing, more expedited processing either way for asylum seekers.
Wow.
So that goes to the policy outcome.
Very interesting, as always, Anthony Salvanto. These numbers.
Yeah, so again, this is how the American people feel about it. There's a stark difference between Democrats and Republicans, but I think both sides agree that it's a crisis. I don't think that Republicans need to have any type of bipartisan solutions or compromise on this issue. You don't need to, because ultimately, from a political perspective, if Democrats get nothing done, it just hurts them going into the election. Democrats have all the pressure in the world to do what Republicans are asking for if they actually want to gain some goodwill from, the American people on this issue. If they actually want to say, hey, we accomplished something on this issue, they should do what the Republicans want to do. They should pass H.R. 2. But we know Democrats are not going to do that. And this problem will continue to get worse and worse and worse because we know that as the election gets closer and Donald J. Trump seems to be the front runner, he seems like he's going to win in a landslide versus Biden, more illegals are going to come to the border and try to get into the country before Donald J. Trump is elected president again. So there's going to be a massive surge. It's going to get way worse, right? And as it gets worse, Democrats are going to face more pressure to actually do something about it. But who knows if they'll actually really, get on board with real common sense solutions. All I know is that Republicans do not have to compromise, and they should not compromise. Any type of compromising with Democrats on this issue is a failure from Republicans. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.